Have you followed what kind of happened with her later on?
No.
In that, when she kind of had some racist guest on.
Well, Nick.
No, I don't know if it was the same guy.
Short little white boy.
She had a white guy on who was talking about how slavery was exaggerated, and she was like reiterating and agreeing with him in the comments. You didn't see this?
I did not see that.
All right, well, this, I don't know, maybe this could be some, like, this satisfaction in some way, but basically, so the funny thing is that Sarah Garvey, I didn't even really intend to go into my story with them that much, but I told him at the time after I watched all this content, I said, this woman's a racist, and she's specifically targeting black women on her show to embarrass them.
She is.
And all of her co-hosts seem to be black men who have issues with women in general, who might naturally be black women because it's in their family and their relationships, right? And then I discovered that Sarah Garvey had, like, I don't know what race his baby mother is, but he'd like attacked his baby mother all over the internet and stuff like that in the past. So I realized these are guys that have had broken relationships that have made them very bitter.
Or have broken relationships with their mother, and that had made them also.
But
usually is the case.
Yeah, I just realized that. Where was I? Sorry, I lost the trailer for. So Pearl.
Racist man on the show.
Yes, no, she. I said this woman is racist. Right? There's a lot of these YouTubers that I really hate in America. Well, I don't really hate anybody. I'm not a person that
That's what I'm saying.
dislike, but whose content I think is problematic. Jordan Peterson is one of the main ones, right? And he's like a white guy who kind of intellectualizes racism, says there's no inequality, it's just hierarchy, social structures, and
Nick said something along the same lines. It's like, why are you mad that like white people won and you lot didn't?
He'll say it more of his chest. But Jordan Peterson tried to say it under, like,
okay, right,
and like, and a
for
lot
monetization
what they do, well, and also to seem like he can go, oh, I'm not racist. I'm just smart. Yeah, and he uses a lot of big words.
Right.
They often target the trans community a lot, and I noticed that what they'll do is they'll have all this trans content, and then they might bring in other people and show them this part because they think they're gonna agree on this.
Mm-hmm.
But if I show them the race stuff, they might not agree. So I saw all these videos on Pearl's show, well, separate from the lives, where she was just having a one-on-one with like black women. She get black women to sit down and get them to watch Jordan Peterson videos.
And then get them
to like just convincing them how this man's right. Look what he's saying. Look what he's saying. And then I noticed that Sarah Garvey and the other men on the show were copying Jordan Peterson's talking points all the time. So that's what made me realize there was a racial element to what she was doing. Mm-hmm. So I said this to Sarah Garvey. I said, this woman's racist and she's running you and she's using you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he venomously argued with me about it. And again, this was later. He's saying, come on the show. Mm-hmm. Just on a side note, I went and proved all of his statistics wrong that day, and he didn't even try and argue with me. He went, okay, you win. And I was shocked. I thought he would at least try and argue. Mm-hmm. And I was like, shit, I should have gone on the show. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, fuck.
And then my point is, so when that racist thing came out of Pearl, because I feel like most of her fan base was in the black community.
Oh no, that's a shame
with a lot of black men following her who seem to then make their own podcast and copy her content. But she lost her base in when that clip came out, and then Sarah Garvey left the show and made a video saying she's a racist and all of this stuff, and saying everything that I said to her.
What a shame. What a fucking shame.
Maybe I'll get him to come and sit here and talk about it.
I think you should. I think you should. Just to have an open conversation. Why not? If you as long as no one's throwing hands or what have you, because it can get real messy real quick. But why
in
not?
My house.
Not here. Then.
Yeah. I should have asked you though before I said that whole story. Did you feel like there was any racial element with black women specifically?
Very much so. I'm not the only. So the women that were on the show that day, You've got Auntie Jenny, who's an older black woman.
Yeah.
Who's...
Was she more on their side?
Whose side? Their side.
Yeah.
When she said that Rihanna deserved to get beat up by Chris Brown.
Why?
And women use their tears. And to a certain extent, women, she said, women, when women cry, they're manipulating a man. And I was just like, huh? And then that's when she followed on to say, well, she deserves to get beat up. And that's before the show started. That's off air. So I was like, and she's an elder. So
respect.
It's respect.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't have any respect for her that day because I'm like, you're talking shit.
Yeah.
Then you've got a mixed race girl. You've got 2 mixed race girls. You've got, I can't remember the girl that was sitting next to me, but like I took her number and what have you. I think. And then Naomi is her mum's white.
Naomi's she's mixed race as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Was she in the comments when we were talking about this one time? I think I might.
I probably believe, yeah.
Yeah, I think I follow her. I think me and her follow each other. I think I might have spoke to her about doing this. Maybe I'll get to pull her up about this.
No, you should. You fucking should.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. This lady.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to invite her.
So me, and there was, I think maybe the understanding that I might have been of mixed, I might be, my dad is whatever, like mixed race. I'm not. Both of my parents are black. I'm from Trinidad. So, and whatever, irrespective to whatever my experiences in life, my mum was very like knowledge of self, knowledge is power, Pan-Africanism. I had to go Saturday school every fucking Saturday from 7 years old until I was like 10, 12. There was a very strong Malcolm X, her rhetoric was very... When I read the book of Malcolm X, or the autobiography, I kind of understood where she was coming from, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so I'm educated, so the fuck you got me on here doing dumb shit for? Are you dumb? Like...
Well, it sounds like you might be more prepared...
But I just wasn't.
They weren't prepared for what was happening, but that's why they blindsided you.
Yeah.
Right? One other question.
And I'm an emotional babe, so I'm like...
Were there any specific rules when you got there about like phones or anything?
Not that I can remember. I don't want to lie. Yeah. Not that I can remember.
Okay.
It's not to say that we weren't allowed to have our phones out or we weren't allowed to use them. They just said that we can't use particular words like rape or grape or what have you. So if you're going to use that word, use the word grape or say essay instead, just because of monetization purposes.
Yeah.
And they did say that usually they do a live, but this one wasn't live, where they can have like people commenting in at the same time. It wasn't that kind of situation, I don't believe.
Oh, that's fair enough. I respect the not lie. You don't want to lie. But yeah, someone else told me that they said put the phones away, and it just made me think, they don't want you looking at your phone when you can check them statistics. You know what I'm saying? But if that didn't happen, it didn't happen.
No, I don't recall. I don't remember having my phone on me.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't, just because I just feel like...
Yeah.
I've only used this today to reference certain things, but normally it's like, we're working, innit? So we're just having a conversation.
Yeah. All right, how do you feel like that content is... how is that content impacting the real world?
It's a complete dichotomy, isn't it? It's like a complete dichotomy. When I go into the real world, I live in Crouch End.
Okay.
I shouldn't even say that. I don't know
what
that's
say that.
Me.
I can chop that out.
I live in a really nice middle class area, and where the people that live in £1 million houses catch buses to take their kids. Do you know what I mean? They do the recycling and they and hi, how are you today? Do you want to spy? I can give you a plant. We talk to each other. We're next door neighbours.
Yeah.
It's not to say that racism doesn't exist. It's not to say any of those things. It's just that I only necessarily see that in the younger generation, like the information that Pearl's giving, or in the ignorance of older. Like, how old are you?
Do you want me to say that on camera?
Why not?
No, I'm all right.
Like, the people of your generation, and we're not the same generation,
no,
innit?
We're not.
So those that are your generation, I feel like they, especially men, watching that kind of stuff, it really warps their mind.
Yeah.
And for the younger generation, and you see the comments from young boys, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's damaging, isn't it?
It is damaging, but we've lived in a really fucked up world for a long time. So
Facts.
I feel like Pearl's just doing the work of what they've been doing. You know what I mean? It's like a smaller version of it. But now, like, she grew her fan base in over a year, I think it was, because she was offering classes about how do you do this and X, Y, and Z. Follow me. You can sign up to this, and I can give you information about how to bring your fan base up to 1 million people in less than a couple. So do you know what I mean? It's a money focused thing.
Yeah.
But everything is money focused. We
100%.
live in a capitalist society, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like I think she's literally 1 second.
Can I have a flag, please?
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I was gonna give you that as well. Yeah. I should have pulled these. I forget to pull these out sometimes. I'm like, yo, red flag for Pearl, red flag for Naomi as well. I said it, not you. Yeah.
No, because you know what I mean? She's still like, she was still. I got fans in it. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Where was I though? Where was I?
I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Nah. Well, the only reason I say the red flag, Naomi, you said she came with a certain energy.
No, she did.
And then brought you there. Okay, but now that I've realised, let me just say something just to give a little credit to her, just because she said for you to come on the show with her, and she said, wait, it was the bit that caught me where she said women got to support each other.
Yeah.
As if in my head I thought, oh, is that what she's saying the show is about? But maybe she was just trying to say that to you.
Like,
we
to
support
come
each
with
other
me.
as
Yeah.
guests. So that makes more sense. But it doesn't make sense if she didn't support you when you was there.
No, she did not. She's like, let me finish. And I was like,